Good morning, everyone. Labrīt visiem. Goedemorgen allemaal. My name is Jacobs Goskaufmanis. I'm the head of the Netherlands office for the Investment and Development Agency. And this morning, our agency, together in partnership with OrderChamp, is very glad to bring you this webinar. Just to make sure, I hope that I am highlighted and you can see me. We have a few panelists here. We have quite dozens of attendees already who have joined online. Some more are still joining. We had a significant number of people who registered. That's, in a way, is showcasing how high the interest is to learn more about, in a way, B2B to C marketplaces, to learn more about how can companies, brands can leverage their sales distribution channels, can export throughout Europe, and how to, in a way, partnership with great and new and novel platforms and marketplaces such as is OrderChamp, which we will learn about today. In short, I'm really glad to see from the people who registered, we have very different kind of companies who registered, different kind of brands, different kind of segments and sectors, and also different sizes and maturity levels of companies. And this is something we're also going to cover throughout this day, throughout this webinar. We're going to cover who is the perfect fit, what kind of brands, what kind of segments are the best fit to join such platforms, sales platforms, and marketplace platforms as OrderChamp. What are the benefits, how transparent everything is, what to know before, how to best, in a way, adapt to this platform. And to be honest, like also personally, I can share that I've seen a few platforms coming and going in Europe. While we see that from the stats and also investment amounts that OrderChamp is, I think, the fastest growing in Europe as a European platform these days. And I think it deserves an attention to see how Latvian brands and also retailers can leverage this. And today we have multiple panelists joining. First of all, we're going to give a floor after a minute or two to OrderChamp, where we're going to have two colleagues from OrderChamp joining. We have Jonathan Maduro, who's the head of sales and customer success of the platform, and also joined by Dan Bertolet, the business partner manager at OrderChamp. And also not to have the story and the presentation too one-sided, and also to give a perspective from the actual platform users from Latvia. We're very grateful that also among the dozens of companies who actually are from Latvia already registered on OrderChamp, which I was really glad to find out, thanks to Dan. One of them, a very successful one, will be sharing her own story, which is Māra Lieplapa, who is the CEO and co-founder of Plukt, the premium Nordic tea brand, which many of you might know, but if not, of course, Mara will share some insights, not only on her company, but also on the platform and her experience of how easy or difficult it is to onboard, to sell, and to grow. So the webinar itself will be approximately an hour long or so. We'll probably go a bit over that. We have just a few questions who were sent in before the webinar, but meanwhile, feel free to use the Q&A section on the bottom of the Zoom panel and leave your question at any time throughout the webinar, and we will do our best to cover all the questions. At the end of the discussions and all the Q&As, we will also ask you to just spend literally 10 to 20 seconds to rate the webinar, which is helpful for us. And also for those who have registered, we'll be glad to reward you with also sending the slide decks from OrderChamp, so you can have more time to go through them, your own pace. But of course, if anybody else also wants to have this slide deck, let me or Leva, who is behind the screen and helping to make all this happen, let us know. So without further ado, I very much thank everyone who joined here. And I would like to give a floor to OrderChamp, to Jonathan and Dan, namely.
Yes, thank you for your introduction, Jacobs. Labrit, everybody else. I'm happy that you're all here and came in so high numbers to hear a bit about OrderChamp and about opportunities in Western Europe. My name is Jonathan Maduro, and I am the head of sales and success, like Jacobs mentioned already. So I'm responsible for the sales teams at OrderChamp and our customer success team. And I'm here today with my colleague Daan. Daan, maybe you can also do a short introduction.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daan, working as a partnership manager at OrderChamp. After this webinar going forward, I'll be the contact person for all information about OrderChamp and the application at OrderChamp.
Yes, thank you. Also, the contact information of Daan will be provided at the end of the presentation. So then, without further ado, I would like to invite you into the slides. OrderChamp and the Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. So basically, I would like to kick off with a little bit of insight into who we are and what drives us. And that is creating local communities across the globe, thriving local communities. And we believe that retailers, independent retailers, stores with a soul are vital for a thriving local community. But we also recognize that for a lot of the independent brands and retailers, it's not easy to succeed, and especially not in tomorrow's market, because we have these big chains like Zara and Primark and all these big companies, big brands, big retailers that have all these tools that are generally unobtainable for independent retailers and brands. And so what we do is we provide tech and all the tools that you need to be successful in the market of tomorrow. Then some numbers about OrderChamp. We started in 2019, and throughout the years we have been finding inspiring products. We have a very strict curation process where we really make sure that the products that get onto our platform add value for our retailers and are of a certain quality. And we are proud to have collected well over 1 million products already with over 6,000 brands. And we have more than 150,000 retailers. And it says here approved retailers because we do also check if it's really a retailer or if it's really a company, so that it's not available for consumers. But OrderChamp is really a B2B platform. And we are happy to say that we also have a lot of very happy customers with the customer satisfaction of 92%. And for us, that is something that's really core to what we are doing. We want to provide value for all sides so that everybody is happy with what OrderChamp brings and that everybody appreciates the value that we can give them. And so we do that for the retailers and the brands. So a little bit more about the type of retailers that we see. So in general, they are independent, small, medium enterprise shops. And these are retailers that have either a story or they have a certain quality in mind. These are not just cheap China stores, cheap stores with products from China, but these are retailers that stand for something. And we have expanded. We started back in 2019 only physically, so only for physical stores. But nowadays we have physical stores, we have online only stores, and of course a lot of omni-channel stores. So that means that shop has a physical and an online presence. And most of our retailers are in concept and gift stores, home decor stores, and kids and baby. But we also have a lot of other verticals because there are a lot of different brands on OrderChamp, like I mentioned before. And so on the brand side, basically, we are even more strict than on the retailer side. So on the brand side, we really curate. We really want to make sure that these are great brands that are either with a great story or that are very sustainable or that have a certain quality that sets them apart. But we really decided not to just put tens of thousands of brands on the platform and make it be a free-for-all, but already curate and save retailers some time. And also for the brands, when the brands get onto OrderChamp, give them value. Because if you're just one of the 50,000 brands, it's also going to be harder to be found by the right retailers. And like I mentioned before, we are a tech company. We provide tech to succeed. And for us, a big part of that is integrations. We understand that as a brand, you want to be developing your brand, telling your story, finding new products or new customers, and you don't want to be copying information manually. So we also make sure that we have a integration. We integrate with most software programs so that all the data flow can go automatically. And then what are the exact benefits that we give for the current and future needs? And so on the retailer side, we see that a lot of the retailers, they used to go to fairs and basically buy all their products from fairs. And with OrderChamp now, we change this experience. We enable retailers to easily, in the end of the day, after a day of working, sit on the couch with a tablet and browse some new products in a certain product category, just like any consumer would. Also, of course, a big advantage versus going to fairs is that on OrderChamp they have a lower minimum order amount, as you can see here. So as a retailer, it's also easier with OrderChamp to try something new, maybe buy 5 or 10 of a certain product or of a certain brand, try it out in your store instead of having to buy for 100,000 or 150,000 at once and maybe buying the wrong product and getting into financial dismay. We already spoke about the unique and on-trend assortment, nice offering of brands that we are very proud of. And then we also make life a bit easier when it comes to the buying experience. So instead of going to either a fair or having to contact 5 or 6 different brands, having to send 5 or 6 different mails, calling 5 or 6 times, doing everything apart, with OrderChamp, they have everything in one. And so as a retailer, you can buy from all your favorite brands. They will be in one basket. You can pay once. Then also we get into some of the shared benefits where as OrderChamp, we provide free shipping if you get above the threshold. And also we provide flexible payment terms. So as a retailer, if you're approved for the flexible payment terms, of course, you can have, for instance, 30 or even 60 days payment term, which again makes it easier to have a healthy business and not have to pay everything upfront yourself. Then we also give deep insight and analytics to the brand and to the retailer so that both know, hey, I have to put some attention on this product, or maybe this category can be interesting for me to offer or to explore a bit more. And then in the end, for the brands, basically we give them an end-to-end platform. So everything that you want to do as a brand, you can do it on OrderChamp. You can even get existing retailers or your long-tail retailers onto OrderChamp and facilitate them from the platform. But you can do marketing campaigns to your existing customers, to new OrderChamp customers, to visitors of your storefront, some other groups. You can manage all your orders there. So everything from getting a shipping label to following the orders, making sure that everything goes well, getting the reviews. Basically, with OrderChamp, we give a full suite that basically you can use on its own. We have effective international distribution, something that depends on the country where you are located. I think from Latvia, most of you would use your own distribution. But maybe you also have 3PL or fulfillment partners in Benelux or DACH region, then that's something that you can speak about with Dan. We always pay out. Also something that's not a given, especially in this time and age. With OrderChamp, you always get paid. So of course there is a lower risk as a brand. And I don't know how it is in Latvia, but in the Netherlands, quite some big brands got into trouble because of retailers going bankrupt. That won't happen with OrderChamp. And then finally, we give you the tools to really personalize your own storefront so that it is in style of your brand, and that you can have the same experience basically on all your channels, and that you can make it really look like you, because we love brands with a soul. A lot of information, but I hope this gives a good view basically on why the brands and the retailers use us, and what we bring to the table. Then a little bit more in depth. So here I have a lot of text. It will be on this slide and the next one, and I have put it on here so that everybody can take some time to read it in the recording, or see it in the slides that will be sent by Jacobs afterwards. But what I want to zoom in on this slide is dropshipping. So this is a tool that we have recently launched. At the moment, on the retailer side, it is for everyone in Europe. On the brand side, it is for brands that also have a VAT number in the Benelux or the DACH region. But basically what we've done with dropshipping is we've added a feature for our retailers to, without risk, offer products in their web shop, test those products out, see if they generate certain traction. And then if they do well, they can also put the products on stock in their physical store, or just on stock for their online shop. So this is something rather interesting, and something to keep an eye on. This is growing pretty rapidly at the moment with OrderChamp. And then some more text. I won't go through everything, but basically what I want to explain here is how we see our collaboration. So for us, we don't really work with customers, we work with partners. So if you want to offer your products on OrderChamp as a brand, we also have expectations. We expect that you do well, so that if you say you will ship the products in a week, that you will ship the products in a week, that you offer fair pricing, the right pricing, not offer it for one price somewhere else, so that the retailer has a bad experience if they find your products cheaper somewhere else later. So basically, we really see it as teamwork. Together, we are making sure that everybody has the best experience. So also for the retailers, if there is something wrong, then we expect from retailers to let us know, hey, there is a brand that maybe has the wrong explanation with the product, or there is something that I really like, and give a high review. So basically, as OrderChamp, we see it as a partnership where if we all put our best effort, we can make sure that everybody is happy, everybody earns some money at the end of the day, and that is in the end what we all need to do to keep our companies alive. Another opportunity to keep your company alive that we have diversified in is cash and carries. It's a bit more old school, and as OrderChamp, of course, we are very much about tomorrow's market, but we also realize that there is still a big chunk of the market that actually likes to have a physical experience, going to cash and carries. So what we did is we joined forces together with Tikam, which is a big cash and carry in the Netherlands. And we are also very far in the process with another European cash and carry, of which I cannot tell the name yet, but that will be something that is coming the coming months, where our brands can basically have a sort of taste of how they would sell in cash and carry. So normal cash and carry, for those that are not familiar with the concept, you basically have to rent a big stand, and then from there you can offer your products, and you pay a yearly fee and then a commission on the products. The OrderChamp customers can have a small stand. So, for instance, 1 square meter, also for a lower fee and a contract term of 6 months, so that you can try it out, see if your products resonate with, in this case, the Dutch, German, and Belgian market, TK. And if it then works well, you can expand from that, and this way you can have extra sales, but also build some extra trust, because it can be that the retailers already have seen your products online, but maybe they're not sure how the products are in real life. Seeing your products then at a cash and carry can help them value your products the right way, which can then give you more sales in the cash and carry or in the online platform of OrderChamp. Something I can definitely recommend everybody to contemplate and to try. The nice part of the collaboration with Tika is as well that you don't have to do anything there physically. You have to send the products, and then they will manage your stand to make sure that everything is on stock there always. Then some of the feedback of our brands and retailers. Well, we are going to have one of our brands speak about her own experiences with us. So I will go only into some of the retailer feedback, where basically our retailers also confirm that they appreciate our value. So that we make it easy for them, having everything in one. That we enable them to find really nice, unique products, and that they appreciate the low minimum order amounts, which is of course something that we really fight for with the brands, and something that really gives a lot of value to the retailers. We have 6,000 of them, like I mentioned, but here are some of the brands. Well, we have Plugged as well, who is going to tell us a bit later. But I would invite you all, challenge you all to go into the OrderChamp platform, OrderChamp.com. You can just make an account if you're a retailer or a brand, and then once you have an account, you can also browse freely throughout all the brands we have in the different categories, and see if there are brands that you know, and maybe brands that you don't know, but of which you really like the products a lot. And then we got already into the end. I hope you all had a good time. I hope you all learned a bit about OrderChamp, and maybe there are some questions. We already did receive some questions, so I'm going through those questions first. But if you have any other questions, please put them in the chat, and then we can also answer those questions. The first question we had was about paintings, decorations, and interior items with natural materials that smell. Where can you advertise it, and where could those products be relevant? Which countries? So first of all, you can export paintings, decorations, interior items with a smell. Shouldn't be a problem as far as I know. If you have very fragile products, I can imagine that paintings are a bit more fragile. Make sure to package them well. You can also, of course, get special shipment. Most of the shipping companies have a special service as well, that helps them take a bit of extra care with your products. If you have products with a lot of perfume or those kind of things, make sure to look into the ADR, because if you have a certain amount of highly flammable products, it can be that you need to ship in a special way, because then the truck needs to have a fire extinguisher and those kind of things. So it's ADR. You just Google that. You can read all the ADR shipping. You should be able to see all the other rules and guidelines. Where do you advertise? Well, on OrderChamp, for instance, but also you can advertise in the cash and carries, like a Tika, for instance. There are a lot of fairs as well in the Netherlands. You can advertise on our local eBay, which is called Marktplaats. with whom we actually have a partnership as well. So if you want to start advertising there, send Dan a message, because we have a coupon for you as well, so you can try it out for free, and you get 100 euros of credit basically to get some visitors to your site. And it's hard for me to recommend a country because I don't know exactly what the type of products are, but in general, I would say that with OrderChamp, it's really easy to try it out. Just to start up in the Benelux, France, Spain, Italy, the DACH region, Denmark, etc. Open up your store, make sure your products are well positioned with the right explanation, good description, photos, etc. And then see where you find traction. And then from there, you can obviously focus more onto that market. Then we have a VAT question, my favorite type of questions. They are a bit harder, but basically, if you are not a VAT payer, you cannot operate on the platform. So basically, we ask our brands, especially the brands, retailers, we have a bit more leniency, but also there, we ask all of our users to have a VAT number. And so if you have a VAT number, then you can operate on the platform, and then which tax you pay depends as well on the volume you do. So there are certain thresholds, and if you cross those thresholds, I think it's like, depending per country, but it's like 10, 20K, something like that. But if you go over, you have to basically pay the tax in that country, or else you can pay it in your own. Please discuss this with your financial advisor, because they will be up to speed exactly how everything works as well from Latvia, and also where to pay which tax. From an OrderChamp's point of view, you do need to have a VAT number. And then the commission, we have a commission of 10%. And the 10% is basically on all the orders. And then as a brand, you get, so only the brands pay the commission. And as a brand, you get the shipping cost paid by us up to 10%. And we will calculate the shipping cost. And in general, it's around the 4 or 5% that we reimburse. And as well, we handle all the payment costs, etc. So we pay for that, and that is included in the commission of 10%. In the first order of a retailer, there is a surcharge of 15%, because it's a new user. We obviously have cost as well to get users onto OrderChamp, and it's the most value that we give, because we're introducing a new retailer to you. So on the first order, it's 25%, and on all the recurring orders, it is 10%. For the rest, there are no costs of selling on OrderChamp. There are no costs. We work with the commission, and on the marketplace, that's it. For the dropshipping module, we don't have a commission, and for the dropshipping module, there's a way lower commission. There's more like a processing fee, and you pay a set amount per month. But that is on dropshipping. And if you think that this is something interesting for you, so if you have a warehouse in Benelux or DACH, and you're a brand, or if you're a retailer, please contact Dan, and then Dan will explore with you what the possibilities are. And then the best shipping methods very much depend on your type of product, what you think is important. If you are shipping ceramics, or you are shipping bricks, very big difference. What is important, right? Ceramics, you want them to not throw with your box too much, and treat it well. If you ship bricks, you just want it to be cheap. So I can't really give a name there. I would say this is something case by case that needs to be looked into. If you ship bigger quantities, it would be on pallets. If you ship smaller, it would be just in boxes. But yeah, please refer to Dan with this question as well, so we can help what is the best method in your specific case. Then Svetlana, I see, has asked the question. Thank you for that. It is definitely possible to synchronize stock with WooCommerce or Shopify. Like I mentioned before, as OrderChamp, we are really a tech company, and we really believe that that you should be focused on building your brand or building your shop, and not on doing manually updating stock or updating products. So we have full integration with WooCommerce and Shopify for the stock, also with the orders, to really make sure that everything goes smooth and gives everybody the best experience. And then I see Anna House with the question. The sales platform Bolt. I think you mean Bol. Can it be that you mean Bol, like from bol.com?
If I could add, I think it could be both. First of all, indeed, the local leading platform, in a way, competition to Amazon, indeed, in the Netherlands is Bol without a T, but it might as well be Bolt.com, not to be mixed up with the Estonian transport provider, which is also taking up Uber. But I see that Bolt.com is also like a sales platform. Well, it seems it might not be a Dutch one.
I'm also Googling it quickly because I have never heard. Okay, so Bolt experience. Okay, well, I am not familiar with Bolt yet. With Bol, I am, but so Bol is more of a B2C. Oh yeah, Bol. Okay, yeah, she explained in the comments. Yeah, so Bol is a business to consumer. And that basically means that with Bol, let me get to our presentation as well. Yeah, so that basically means that with Bol, sorry, we don't really have a collaboration. I would even go one step further and to say that a lot of our brands don't want retailers to sell their products from Bol, because they want to have a certain experience with the products, or they want to sell their products themselves on Bol, or they want to have to basically link directly with the consumers throughout the retailers or throughout their own shop. But so we don't work together with Bol, and in general, a lot of our brands don't want retailers to sell their products on Bol. I hope that answers your question, Anna.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really, I think for now we can also give some more time for other participants also to think if there are any questions, because we will have time at the end for a little more Q&A. But
yeah,
indeed,
I do see one more question from Alex.
Okay.
So the margin levels that stores are interested in, so the retailers, is generally 2. So if they buy a product for 10 euros from a brand, they want to be able to sell it for 20 euros. There are some exceptions, like for instance in fashion or in food, but in general you can calculate with 2. So that would be the margin level that is expected. On dropshipping, it's a bit lower because then there is the shipping, etc., in there as well. And then as a final reminder, please, if you are interested in OrderChamp, send an email to Dan, or you can call him, or, which is my favorite option, book a meeting directly. You will all get the slides. This link is in there, and from that link you can just go into the calendar of Dan and schedule a meeting with him. So that would be sorry, I see more questions.
I think we'll have time because more and more people are also perhaps we'll have additional questions together with my story. So okay, we have all the questions fixed. We have heard a fantastic story from Jonathan on OrderChamp. I think he made a really compelling case. And what stick to my mind is the phrase, Jonathan, that you used, brands with a soul. Wasn't that so? I think it shows a distinction of how you try to pick the brands, and you're quite picky, right? So I think that we will also leave some time in the end to perhaps discuss on what to think about from the producers, from the brand side, of what could be the best fit, which categories perhaps are more potential, what is lacking on a platform, and perhaps there's anything that our producers could think of. At the same time, I'm really glad to continue this webinar with another brand with a soul, which is confirmed by OrderChamp, by not only allowing them on a platform, inviting them on a platform, but also, from what I've heard, I'm being quite successful on the platform, among actually a few dozens of other Latvian companies. But we are really glad to give the word to Māra Lieplapa, who is the CEO and co-founder of Produkti. Māra, the floor is yours. We're really glad to hear about your honest, Dutch direct, transparent feedback. I know that the two gentlemen here will take all the criticism. They're fine with that. So please, if you could also introduce you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jakobs. Thank you, Jonathan, for taking all the parts about OrderChamp. I don't really like speaking about technical details, so I always appreciate that OrderChamp takes this off the shoulders of producer and brands. So yeah, let me just quickly share my screen for some visual insight. But yeah, today I'm talking about Produkti brand. I hope most of you are familiar. I really hope so. But if not, then we are premium herbal tea producers. Currently, we have more than 20 different products that we offer for B2C. But especially for wholesale and retailers, we have more than 30 different products that are also placed on OrderChamp platform. But before I start, I would like to say that we have been working with different wholesale platforms, also in US and Australia. But as I recall, I think we joined OrderChamp when they just started. So I believe we have been there since the very beginning. And I think so much has changed since then. I believe also in the way brands are being boarded on this platform. So then it was a bit more manual, but now it's very seamless how you can work on this platform. So yeah, I will share some things that we really love about this platform and how it has helped us. Also maybe something practical that might come in use when you join this platform, or when you give it a try. So what we have been really appreciating is that, as some people already mentioned in the questions about the automation, like with WooCommerce and Shopify, it's very easy to add your products. And at the very beginning, I think it was more manual, but now you can really easily add more products to the platform. And what I really would like to mention is that I think you have to stay very active to be noticed by retailers. Let's say if you would just upload your products. I'm just sharing from our experience. OrderChamp guys can correct me anytime. But I feel like when you stay very active, when you reach out to retailers, when you remind them about sales or new products, then this platform really works as a nice sales tool. And with Produkti, we do attend a lot of exhibitions all over the place. And at first, we didn't notice how we can use OrderChamp as a sales tool. But over years, we have been starting to turn the leads that we acquire from different trade shows and exhibitions and invite them to join this platform and order wholesale directly from here. Because first of all, it saves so much time. You already have this wholesale price list. You already have a really nice visual representation of all your products. retailers, buyers, anyone who is interested can have a detailed description about every one of your product. And for us, when we do sales, it saves a lot of time to not send over catalogs via emails who sometimes don't get delivered, but you can directly invite retailers and interested buyers to browse through your online catalog. So this is definitely a huge benefit. Also, from a practical point of view, I would like to point out the finance stuff and invoicing. For us, it feels like it's very seamless. We don't have to worry about that at all. It just, when the order is placed via OrderChamp, you receive a notification in your email. You then can confirm or edit or I believe also cancel the order if you feel like you cannot fulfill it. And then when you add the tracking information about this order that you have prepared it and shipped it, automatically invoice is being generated. So for us, again, it's one step less in all this process, and we can more focus on having more orders, for fulfilling more orders, generating more sales, instead of writing invoices or doing actual sales process. So yeah, that is something that I really wanted to point out as well. That really helps. And overall, the platform is quite easy to use. It's very intuitive and easy to follow, also from your mobile or any other device. So that's quite clear as well. And yeah, what we really love to do is invite our own retailers. I would say, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say that sometimes when you invite your own retailers or prospects that you have met in exhibitions or trade shows, they perhaps are more suitable for your products, because sometimes the retailers that are already on OrderChamp are just browsing for new products and trying out, which is great because any order that comes in, it's still an order and it's also a sale. But it doesn't mean that they would, place order repeatedly. Well, they might when you have new products, but we feel like sometimes they are on a lookout for constantly having new products. But for us who develop something new once a year or maybe twice a year, some new products are coming, it's not that likely that they would reorder. So we feel like when you invite your own prospects or contacts, those could be, in our case, as we are a tea brand, we invite restaurants, we invite cafes, hotels, boutique hotels, individual shop owners or retailers. We invite them, and they are more suitable. We already know their profile, but in this case, they know how to then place orders repeatedly if they also like the way the platform allows them to put the orders in place. Yeah, there was also a question about shipping that I think I have some additions for that. For example, when we receive an order, we can always choose which carriers we use to complete this order. It can depend on the country, of course, also the pricing. So we mainly work with 4 major shipping companies. And for example, locations where we have to send these products are mainly Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany. There are also many retailers from France. And sometimes we do receive also from other countries, like there's Cyprus and some even from Estonia or Lithuania that are closer, but majority I feel like are coming from the Netherlands and Belgium, which is great because originally that was not our main market, so we weren't thinking about proposing our products there. But since we are on OrderChamp and I feel like a lot of retailers are coming exactly from Benelux countries, then we have this opportunity to explore these new markets that we didn't think of previously. So that's really, really cool. And here's just very simple bullet points of how the actual ordering process happens for you as a brand. So when you receive an order, you receive a notification in your email, and you can then confirm, cancel, or edit this order, which means that if you feel like you don't have that many products in stock, or something has changed, or you haven't been able to update the quantities on time, but the retailer has ordered more, you can always edit this. So for us, it is very important because OrderChamp is just one of the sales channels that we have. So it's not, none of the same sales channels for us is the main one, but we have multiple ones. So sometimes we do fail to keep track of our quantities in different sales channels. So for us, it's really great that we can edit these orders, and we can then directly communicate with this retailer and tell them about the situation. So instead of just writing emails, it's very easy to communicate with these retailers throughout this platform about this specific order, so everything is in one place. And then after you have confirmed or edited this order, then you're invited to fulfill this order. So you have to provide this tracking information and the shipping company that you are going to ship this order with. And after you have fulfilled it, then the invoice is being generated, and it also automatically is being sent to your email, which is very cool for accounting. So we don't have to do anything with that. And yeah, as OrderChamp team already shared, you receive payment afterwards within, I believe it was 30 to 60 days after you have completed this order. And yeah, we have been also lately joining the new OrderChamp and Tika project, which means that our products were available for 6 months displayed in Tika physical store, which is cash and carry. It was very new for us as well, but we really wanted to try. I would say that it was quite successful. And Jacobs also paid a visit to see this display and everything in real life. And soon this contract is going to end, but we have already arranged with the next location, which is in Venlo in the Netherlands, to also display our products for next 6 months there. Previously, there wasn't this kind of opportunity. It was purely digital that everything was going on, but I believe this is a very good one to get to introduce your products to even more broad network of retailers, especially in the Netherlands. So yeah, that is briefly what I wanted to share with you. And yeah, right. Also, the point that got my attention about Jonathan's presentation was about that the retailers are really handpicked this platform. So for us, as we are a premium tea producer, it was important that our products are not sold on Amazon or eBay or platforms like that. So yeah, mostly retailers that are on OrderChamp, at least the ones we have been working with, are either design concept stores or cafes. There are also some restaurants and boutique hotels. So the audience is really suitable for us. And we don't have to worry whether the brand is going to be represented in the wrong way or in the wrong sales channels. So that also takes something off our shoulders. But yeah, to sum everything up, I would say that OrderChamp works really well if it is if you are very active on this platform, and if it's one of your sales channels, then it is a really good opportunity how to reach new markets and places you wouldn't think previously that you would have customers there. And especially if you combine it with active work on trade shows and exhibitions, where instead of just emailing these leads, you can directly invite them during the trade show to check your online catalog, and they can see that they can simply place an order right away on the platform. It's a very good tool for that, and it is effective in combination with all the other sales activities that you do. So if you have also any questions, happy to answer that, or maybe OrderChamp team have some corrections or additions, then otherwise, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing this transparent and story on the brand with a soul. Fantastic. Jonathan, Dan, Mara, I think we can close the presentation and leave the floor for an open discussion. We have more than 10 minutes, so if we go over the hour, that's completely fine. We do have, I think, just a few questions to cover, but I invite everyone also to send in any questions that are left. And to kick it off, perhaps...
Sorry.
Yep.
Caps, I had amazing presentation, by the way, Mara. Super nice to hear that you're happy with OrderChamp and that the Tika was also going well for you, that you're continuing there. There was a small thing about the payment that I want to clarify. So the retailer, they can get 30 to 60 days payment term, but as a brand, the moment that you have delivered your products, you will get paid. So it's once per week, but so as a brand, you're never waiting 60 days. Then we will pay you already, even though the retailer still has X amount of days to pay. You already get the money. We pay out every Tuesday towards the brands.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes.
Nice, even better.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And perhaps we can also finish the discussion on the logistics and deliveries. I think the question that's still remaining, like, what would be the expectations from the ones who order, the retailers? Like, for example, Mara, from your experience, how long does it take for you to fulfill an order for the country that you mentioned in, let's say, Western Europe, Southern Europe?
For us, it takes about 1 business day. So we try to do this as soon as possible, because the sooner they get, the sooner they sell, the sooner they can reorder. And
the delivery time?
It depends on the carrier, but it's about 3 business days for us.
Mm-hmm. And Jonathan, Dan, is there any like expectations or requirements regarding delivery times from the brand side?
No, so the expectation is that you do what you say, right? So if you say it's going to be a week, or it's going to be 3 weeks or 5 weeks, that's fine. But then it has to be that time. And we also reward brands in the ranking that always do what they say they will do. So, like for instance, I think for Mara, it would be easier to ship quicker than it is for a company that makes couches based on specific demands and produces from scratch after an order. So it depends on the type of product, but most important is that you give a realistic expectation so that the retailers know what to expect.
Perfect. Thank you. Also, I think a topic that was discussed and what Mara brought up is that she, in a way, had to be quite proactive in a way to stand out, also not only within the 6,000 brands, but also to get more orders, get repeated orders. Perhaps could you just shortly expand what are the marketing options? Like how can the brands, make themselves visible? Also paid options.
So at the moment there's no specific paid option to buy ads or something like that, like the things like what Amazon etc. does. We don't have it. Maybe in the future, but for now we really put a lot of value in our ranking, because basically what the ranking does is it looks at how you perform, like I mentioned before, but also do you cancel orders, do you have a lot of information, what do retailers tell us about your products, like if they're priced right and those kind of things. So based on that, we really want to put the best scoring brands on the top. Doesn't mean that they are the biggest brands, but they are the best scoring brands, basically. That being said, there are things that you can do as a retailer. One of them is brand campaigns, a tool that we built for retailers to send a message to their followers, their customers, or people that visit their storefront. We have a feature which is open cart, where you can send a message to retailers that have currently products of yours in their cart. So then you can maybe convince them. Then we have a lot of events. We try to have one event per month, where as a brand you can participate. So for instance, as we speak now, it's the OrderChamp Digital Fair. It's one of the 2 biggest events we do in a year, where a lot of the brands give 20 or 30% discount, and OrderChamp also gives a discount on top of it. So a lot of retailers buy in this week with us, and basically, as a brand, this is a great opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to give a little bit of my margin, but I'm going to be highly visible for these retailers. And then we have a lot of different types. So now it's a discount event, but we also have a low minimum order event. We have a green event. We have all kind of different events that you can participate in. And then pushing reorder rate would be performing well, and then also staying in contact with your customers. As Mara said before, we really provide a way for you to stay in touch with your customers. They're your customers, so you can just talk with them easily via OrderChamp. We do also see that retailers test products out, right? As I explained. So that is a big value of OrderChamp, that you can try it, and if the product doesn't match their target audience yet, then you're not going to see a reorder. But if they sell well, then it's very logical that they will come back and do that reorder, and that you can stack, because that is the goal for OrderChamp, to have customers, have our brands have as high of a reorder rate as possible, because that means that retailers are getting value, brand gets value, everybody's happy.
Super. From the questions that have come in, Anna House also has an additional question about the commissions. Is there any subscription fee or monthly fee, or it's just a commission?
Yeah, for the marketplace, it's just a commission. Only with dropshipping, there is a different way of working, and Dan is happy to give you all the insights on that. But the marketplace is just a commission only.
Mm-hmm. Clear.
And I see also on the question on Alex, if the retail recommended price is 700 euros. So I would say in general, it's the times 2. I don't know what type of product it is, but let's say it's a closet. So if it's a closet of 250 euros, then the MSRP or the RRP should be around 700. And the reason for that is that if a retailer is not able to sell your products, they're probably going to have to take a loss on it, or maybe put it in sale. And so there is a risk for retailers. So that's why it's important that they also have a healthy margin. As I said before, we really see it as a partnership, and none of the parties should be squeezing out the others. So basically, we want the retailer to have a healthy margin, you as a brand to have a healthy margin, and then OrderChamp to have a commission, so that we can also keep the company alive, basically.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And then speaking of categories, and in a way, like just to come back to the question of brands and getting them onboarded, to get through this filter, this careful picking that you're doing, could you perhaps just expand on what kind of brands are you looking for still today? You already have like 1,000 items, SKUs, and on your marketplace, you already have thousands of brands. But what do you see are the trends? What kind of categories still have the highest potential for joining, and what would be the criteria? I know it's probably some kind of a complicated algorithm and ranking behind the scenes, but what should a brand know and not to also waste your time, but also to improve the product?
So it is very broad because we have a lot of different categories, and it's different in food than for instance, for Mara, she's food and tea, but in the food and beverages category, it's completely different than it is in home and living or in kids and baby clothes. So what I think is a general rule of thumb: if you have really well, with all due respect, but if you have really cheap products, or if they're like Alibaba type of products, in general, that's not a match. And if you're in doubt, just request a demo. Just fill in the form on the platform. It's going to take you a few minutes, and then we will look into your specific case, or send Dan a message, and then Dan can help you. And trend-wise, it's also, it's so dependent per category. I wouldn't want to go on record saying the pastel colors are going to return in the summer, and dry flowers are doing well. Like, of course, we see trends but every brand has its own swing on that. Most likely you have a view on the trends as a brand. Make sure you go into those and then offer them on OrderChamp, and then you can see what's working well, and then you can further expand into those niches of your trend.
And seeing then sustainability and ethics being one of the values is also presented on your homepage. So any kind of products that also are respectively certified, who conduct any kind of additional, let's say, who make the extra step, are probably more potential for the platform. Is that so?
Yeah, definitely. So we, the things like the B Corp certification, or we have a lot of different possibilities, basically, that you can also put in the platform. So as a brand, when your products are certified in a specific way, fair trade, or they are biologic, or something else, you can put that in your product description, or as an element, basically, and then the retailers that find that important, they can select that in their filter, and see the products that have those certifications. So definitely, something that does well, especially I would say in the West European markets.
Thank you. We do have one question about one particular category, which is the food category: potential for seasonings and spice mix.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a specific category even for it. I can share my screen briefly. So again, like I mentioned before in my presentation, just go to orderchamp.com and make an account and browse through it. But so we have a specific seasoning category where there are different types. But here you can see some of our seasoning companies. Natural Spices is a big one. Well, here you can also see the digital fair that I mentioned before with the big discounts. But so here you see some of our different products within seasoning. So there's definitely a supply and also a demand.
Perfect. And also, thanks for showing the insights of the platform live. Perhaps, if no other questions on this are coming in, perhaps just a few words that Dan could expand on the dropshipping. I think it's a very big thing that you also launched, and then very interesting perhaps for retailers. What is the key message? What should we know? What should the retailers also listening in should take a note on?
I think the last few years were quite difficult retail wise, as we saw how the economics developed. So we were looking and we were looking with our brands and retailers, where can we help? Where can we add value in the whole supply chain, in the whole B2B market? And we saw that all of the dropshipping was a big trend. The only thing what happens with dropshipping often is that these are the cheap, the low quality products from China, which were offered in Europe. But we saw that there was a big trend, around dropshipping. It was very successful for some people, but with the wrong products, in our opinion. So what we've created is we have created the dropship trend, but then with our brands and with our retailers. So with the high quality products and with the verified retailers on OrderChamp. So also not everyone can now offer your products on the website, like everybody of all the kids on Instagram standing next to the Lamborghini wanting to do dropshipping. No, not those kind of dropshippers. We want to do dropshipping with our verified retailers and with our high quality products. So I think that's a good giveaway from what our dropship proposition is. We created the whole software flow, so also that is all arranged. The order comes in with the brand, is offered at the retailer's website. If the order comes into the website of the retailer, it will come into the order flow of the brand. The brand ships it to the consumer, and so like we arrange that for you. The only thing, is that the retailer has to offer your products and the brand has to ship it. So the same as the brand ships it to the retailer, only we take out one step. The brand ships it directly to the consumer. I think that's the easiest way to explain it in a few sentences.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a small question that came in regards to dropshipping about delivery time expectancy.
Also here, of course, B2C is a little bit different maybe than the B2B expectancy of delivery time, but also here it's very important what Jonathan already said. It's the expectancy you create at the consumer or at the retailer, and here then at the consumer, that you will keep your promises and keep the expectations you provide.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Don. I see that we have covered all the questions. I think we have touched upon great topics today. I'm really glad that so many of you joined, the interest was expressed, and I think we can actually wrap it up. And before I do, a few call to actions. I think what we learned today is that all the panelists are very open to speak more on their experiences, on the onboarding process. So first of all, for those brands and retailers interested more on the OrderChamp platform in the potential of joining, you will have Don's contact information. For those also looking for more insider perspective on how easy or difficult it is, or you have something very particular in mind, so Mara also shared her contact details, and feel free to reach out to her. And to wrap up, I would be really glad also for you to just take 10 to 20 seconds, as my colleague Leva behind the scenes will share a short questionnaire on this webinar. And I invite everyone to follow Leah's, our agency's newsletters, and to follow the upcoming webinars. And you will have the ability to see this recording and also previous webinars we have hosted on the business.gov.lv site, as well as we'll be sharing the slide deck with those who have registered. Jonathan, Dan, dank u wel. Mara, paldies. Leva behind the screen, paldies. Thanks for everyone for finding this time this morning. Thanks for sharing the information that you did today. And we wish all the best to OrderChamp, and we wish all the best to the Latvian brands and retailers who will take advantage of it. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Jacobs. And paldies, everybody, for following the call. Cheers.
Yes. Thank you, Mara, for nice words.